Hey up, my name is Susie and this is my channel Super Pink Orchid. This is a Project Pan channel and this is my March update for the Project Pan called Four Seasons. This is a Pantastic Ladies Facebook group collab project, although you don't have to be a member of the Pantastic Ladies to participate in the project at all. Really, it's all about picking three products that link to each of the four seasons of the year: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And you can decide in any way, shape, or form how they relate to that season. And then once you know what product you have chosen, you can decide what goal you want to pick for that product. So you might want to finish it. You might want to have a usage number of usages goal on it, or it might be about sort of wearing away particular bit of the bronzer, or it might be about hitting pan. It's whatever you would like to do to help you to be successful in working through some products. And we're in March. It's time for me to give you an update, and I have quite an exciting one because I actually have three completed products to show you this time around. So without further ado, I'll start with first one, and this is my NARS Laguna Bronzer Mini, picked for the summer season, given that it's a bronzer, and that's when I would expect to have a tan. Although, of course, I live in the UK, meaning I rarely have a tan, and so need a bronzer. This is the very famous NARS Laguna shade, and one I've not been particularly kind about in the past when talking about this in this playlist, Four Seasons playlist, and in my February empties, because I did finish this in February after doing my February update. Just found it super light. It didn't pick up on the brush that well. It could have been the brush though. And it didn't really show up on the skin too much. I suppose that's probably a good thing for a pale person that I don't look crazy orange, but I really didn't feel like this one in particular really did that much for me. So I doubt I'll be proactively purchasing another NARS Laguna. If one happened to make its way to me, that's absolutely fine. But I don't know if I'd recommend it. But happy to have a summer product done. The next product I want to show you is for my spring category, and this is the Catrice Bright and Blur Loose Powder. And this is actually one of those pink powders, and I've picked it for its pretty pastel pinkness as being related to spring because that's when I want to think about all fun pastel colours. Uh, she's completely done. I use this shadow under my eyes to help brighten. Do I think it did that? No. This is my second or third pink powder ever to use. I've used a few different ones now, and I'm not entirely convinced that they do anything beyond their powder job. But in terms of, stopping oil and shine, but do I think the pink brightened? Certainly not on my skin, is all I can say. So I enjoyed using it though because it had a nice light scent to it. It was beautifully finely milled, and it was pleasant enough to use. But I won't be repurchasing only because I'm suspicious of these pink powders. Happy to get a spring one out the way. And then my third and final product I want to show you happens to be my other face powder that I was using, and I finished them both on the same day. Now, this is a product I had picked for winter. This is my Revolution Banana Light face powder. And I'm throwing the sifter and the lid for you. You can see it's completely empty. So, as a banana, i.e., quite yellow face powder, this was another powder that really is supposed to only be used for kind of baking purposes. So, under the eye, maybe a bit on the forehead, lightening and brightening. I'm not that convinced it did that, but it was a fine enough powder as it was. I have plenty of other powders to get through, and I don't think I'd be uh, seeking this one out, but that doesn't mean it wasn't fine. It was fine. It was perfectly did its job, I guess, and lasted certainly a long time. A loose face powder like that lasted absolutely ages, maybe more than a full year using this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually I maybe started this in about October 2024, and here we are in March 2026. And not only do I wear a full face every day, I reapply powder a lot. So yeah, it lasted me a decent amount of time. So that was one spring, one summer, and one winter product out of my project this time round, and I'd already finished last time I saw you a different summer product and a different spring product. So that means as I show you what I have left, I've only got one spring product left to go. This is the Winky Looks Cheeky Rose Blush in the shade Knickers, which makes me laugh quite a lot. And um, I'd already spoken to you about this had started life as a beautiful cream blush in a rose 3D rose shape, and it was absolutely beautiful. But of course, with usage, a long time usage, it's worn down, and we just have what's left in the small pan at the bottom there. I always use this for underpainting purposes daily, but a little goes a long way. I am now seeing a nice pan at the bottom there, but this thing moves around, so might look completely different. You might not see any pan next time you see this in a month. We march ever onwards with it, and I like it. I like holding this thing. It's quite tactile in the hands, and it clasps nicely. I won't be sad when it's gone. I've just enjoyed using it, but I certainly don't expect to see this finished in a month's time, even knowing there isn't. It doesn't look like there's a lot there. The only other summer product I have left is a red eyeliner. This is the Colourpop Chrome Gel Liner in Cherry Pie. I like to use this on the waterline to fulfill my vampire fantasies. It does look quite dramatic on the eyes, and I have only this much left. So hardly anything. Oh, and you can see it wobbling there. So I've got to be careful. These things can be quite delicate. I, I'm sure that's more than a month's worth of usage. I don't use this thing every day in my eyes, certainly not. But I'm not overly worried about it looking at the year to go. There's still plenty of time to get this thing done and dusted. Enjoyable. I haven't finished any of my autumn or fall products yet, but I'll show you where I'm at with them. The first is this Jeffree Star Cosmetics The Gloss in the shade 6 Feet Under, which is a grey sparkly shade. Um, there's plenty of windowing in the product there. You can see the doe foot stick for it inside. Nice glittery colour, and you look kind of dead when you wear this. But I quite like that. It's not like too. That's quite a light application. It doesn't look too bad there, but sometimes I can turn up to my work Teams meetings looking a little dead, and that's fine. Maybe I'm making a statement. I still have some ways to go on this, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And yeah, let's see where we're at in another month's time. I don't wear this super frequently, but we'll see. The next autumn product is my sort of hate panning, sort of not eyeliner by Half Magic, the Magic Flip liquid eyeliner, which is a black shade, but certainly not black enough for me. And whilst I was very excited by this calligraphy tip, it's quite dry on the eye as you apply it. It's not painful. I'm definitely not really saying that, but it's not very pleasant to kind of drag across the eye. So I haven't been really enjoying it. I have been trying to use the edges a lot more and be a bit more savvy with my angles when using it and trying different approaches. But I ain't going to be sad when this thing is done. Often I top black eyeshadow over this, which is great because I have a black eyeshadow I'm trying to finish up in my A to Z project. But it needs it to be able to just darken it up to a satisfactory shade. So I know you're probably saying just declutter the thing then, but I'm feeling quite stubborn about this one, and I would like to get a little more usage out of it for sure. I can and I do declutter, but not very often. Something has to really be on its last legs or expiring or expired or um, really, really horrible for me to feel like I can just chuck it in the bin because I just feel like that's so wasteful. Obviously, I can declutter and sell things that I know that I think I'll never get round to. But just because I don't enjoy it, doesn't to me that's not strong enough of a justification for chucking something in the bin that still has usage. My final autumn product is one of my Kaleidos Cosmetics eyeliners. This is the Prismatic Multichrome eyeliner in the shade Solaris. So this is the kind of pinky green, pink to green, green to pink colour that I like to wear. I always go on about these things in loads of my projects, so I won't today, but as an eyeliner formula, I enjoy these Kaleidos ones and not a lot left but still some life left in her. So I shall enjoy this. I'm not predicting it to be done by the end of the month, but you never know. I may feel super inspired. I've never tried it all over the eye actually, just to see what that's like, not just as an eyeliner. Maybe that could be something to do. Not to purposefully get it finished, but just to see before it is done, what does that look like and how does that stay on the eyes? Will it crease? I have two winter products left, and this first one I actually had expected to be done by this update, but that's absolutely fine. It's really nearly done. This is the Too Faced Bronzing and Sculpting Stick in the shade Chocolate Mousse. And for me, Chocolate Mousse is a grey toned brown, in that I've had to use it as a cream contour rather than a bronzer. Already at the last update, this thing was not only flat to the plastic bit, you know, here that you roll up, I'd already started to use a brush to dip inside to try and use up as much as possible, which, as I'd said then, was quite unusual for me. You won't see me doing this with lipsticks. Although then I realised you will with glosses, like I will take out the stopper for glosses, but lipsticks I can never be bothered to dig. But for this thing, I thought it was worth it because it smells like chocolate oranges. So whilst the product is all right, not going to be worth another 25 quid or whatever it is to repurchase, but worth the digging out. So at the last update, you could see plenty of product down there, and really there's barely anything left. But each day I do manage to get just, a little goes a long way, I'll be honest. I do manage to get enough to meet my facial needs and fully expect this to be done by the next update. And finally, my last winter product and the last one to show you for this update is another Kaleidos Cosmetics eyeliner. This is the Dynamic Metallic formula. I mean, I know they've all got different names. Prismatic, multichrome, dynamic, metallic. You just need to know these things are shiny and pretty. This one is in the shade Sea Sparkle, which is a light, shiny, bluey silver colour, which I really enjoy. I do have it in my waterline today. I have a blue eye look. I'm not sure how blue it's looking now. Oh golly, 10 hours in. But I do, yeah, these things do stay on the waterline. Can you see the colour there? Now, to me, that's a blue silver look, although obviously I'm not sure what you'll be able to see. This one, I have the most left of all of my Kaleidos Cosmetics eyeliners I'm trying to pan. Not too surprising, I don't really wear bluey silveries very much. Also not surprising because my Pan That palette is really warm toned, and as a super cool tone product it's just not going to go together. But again, not overly worried. There's still 9 months of the year to go to get through this thing, and I do like it, and I want to reach for it when I can. So that's how much I have left on Sea Sparkle. That's everything from my Four Seasons update. I hope that was interesting. What is it that you have put into your projects this year? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.